The poorest place I went to was Saks Fifth Avenue. They only had Chanel suits. Ah, the horror.
Disruptive.
America that I fought for.
Weird thing to happen. Alrighty, so here comes the king. The king presides in Canada. That's right, King Charles makes a cameo appearance in the soap opera drama known as Parliament and House of Commons. That could be an interesting soap opera there if they add some effective music. But the Economic Times reports right after King Charles waves goodbye, Quebec lawmakers vote unanimously to end ties with the British monarchy. As the saying goes, never piss off the French. So they say on May 27, 2025, King Charles III gave a speech in Ottawa to start Canada's 45th Parliament. He even quoted the national anthem, saying the true North is indeed strong and free. That same day, Quebec's National Assembly voted to end all ties with the British monarchy, as per reports. The motion was brought by Parti Québécois leader Paul St. Pierre Palmondon. This is how you say it. The motion said Quebec is the only true voice of its people and that most Quebecers feel no connection to the monarchy. The motion was passed unanimously. All 106 members of the National Assembly from CAQ, Liberals, and Quebec Solidaire voted for it. There was no debate before passing this motion. It was a quick and unanimous, according to the Gazette report. Premier François Legault didn't seem interested in the King's speech. He said he didn't listen to it because he was in meetings. Simon Jolin Barrett, the minister in charge of Canadian relations, also didn't listen to it, but said he might later. Oh, this is like seems like a skit right here. Did you listen to it? No. Did you listen to it? No. Okay, well, no one listened to it, so we're just going to cut off the monarchy. Ruba Galza, Quebec Solidaire co-leader, called Canada a bizarre country for inviting a foreign monarch to talk about its future. QS, which is Quebec Solidaire, was the first party to push for ending the oath to the monarchy that MNAs used to take. In December 2022, Quebec passed a law making the oath to the monarch optional. After PQ, MNAs were temporarily banned for refusing to swear it. As per the reports now, QS wants to go further and stop public money going to the Lieutenant Governor's office, the King's representative in Quebec. This office costs $750,000 a year. Ow. I didn't realize it was that costly. For things like office, staff, and driver. Don't they know they could save money with Uber? The salary of the lieutenant governor is paid by Ottawa. The current lieutenant governor is Manon Jeanette, appointed in December 2023. After Jeanette was appointed, the National Assembly passed a motion to abolish the position, but nothing changed since it's legally complex. Even though the job is mostly ceremonial, Quebec laws still need the royal seal to become official. U.S. says that instead of the lieutenant governor, Quebec could have an administrator, but this needs support from Ottawa and other provinces. Ruby Galza said the first step is to start the conversation. She gave an example. People once said ending the oath was impossible, but it happened, as mentioned in the Gazette report. Until then, QS says Quebec could at least stop funding the lieutenant governor's office on its own. Gazelle said she has told this idea to Jolin Barrett, and he's noted it. Back in 2015, the CAQ's platform also said they wanted to remove the lieutenant governor's post. St. Pierre Palmondon mocked the idea that the United States President Donald Trump would be influenced by the King's visit, saying it's absurd and outdated. He said inviting King Charles to Canada based on a colonial tradition is offensive to francophones and indigenous people. Well, good to know that King Charles recognized it was stolen land in his speech. Which I thought that was kind of bizarre. I mean, you're the king of the monarch that notoriously stole land. Like, you are not in position to mention about indigenous people whatsoever. You're in no position whatsoever. He questioned about how Charles could help deal with Trump's random or hostile comments about Canada, as per reports. King Charles. Oh my God. Maybe the monarch has become this bit of a joke. I mean, we'll get into it. But anyway, Mark Tanguay, interim Liberal leader, said he is not a fan of the monarch either, but warned that removing it needs a constitutional change, which is very hard. He also said, when I wake up this morning, I'm not thinking about King Charles III. My loyalty is to Quebec's people, as stated in the Gazette. So this happened. This legit happened. This is not a conversation. This is a legit vote that went through the Quebec Parliament, or do you say Quebec, if you're a francophone? As Table Salt pointed out, these Quebecers are savage. Watch this. They had just voted to cut all ties to the British monarch while he was in Canada, while he was in our country. That's ballsy. That's ballsy. Then Buddy adds in an amendment. Send the results of the vote to Buckingham Palace and the Prime Minister of Canada. So they voted in Quebec. And what this amendment is trying to incorporate is that these results are going to be sent to the Prime Minister and sent to Buckingham Palace to say, we're going to cut ties with you. And Canadian people are thinking about cutting ties with the monarchy. So it's sent as a warning message that the world order of the Commonwealth, the monarchy, the British Empire is coming to an end. It's sunsetting. That's what it sounds like to me here. But here's the video put together here. Someone dubbed it. They used AI to dub it into English because it was obviously in French. But here's what they said.
The voting is complete. Mr. Secretary General, for the result of the vote.
106 for, none against, no abstentions.
So this motion is adopted. Mr. Deputy of Matane Metapedia.
Madam President, we would like to send the result of this motion to the Canadian Prime Minister and Buckingham Palace.
It is being redone, Mr. Deputy. So we will continue.
So it sounds like they said it passed, and they want to add the amendment to bring it to the attention of Prime Minister Mark Carney and the King itself that we're sick and tired of the monarchy. And you know what? I'd be sick of it too if I knew it costs $750,000 annually to keep one job position. One job position, just being the errand boy between the British monarchy and just one province of Quebec. $750,000 for one job position. Well, we got to pay for the food. We got to pay for, the luxury penthouse they probably live in. Obviously we want to make sure they had the freshest caviar. We can't expect them to eat ramen noodles. I mean, God, it's a highly regarded position. Wow. So that's a pretty savage move. That's a pretty savage move. And considering that King Charles was in Parliament when this happened. So King Charles was in the country as they were trying to vote to cut ties with him. That's a ballsy move. That's a ballsy move coming from Quebec. Like I said, the saying goes, don't piss off the French. Don't piss off the French. If you ever read French history, if you know anything about the French Revolution, holy crap, you don't want to, turn them the wrong way. Turn them the wrong way. So, Government EXE is corrupt says King Charles tells Canadians how much they'll save with tax cuts and social programs like pharmacare and dental care. What kind of R-word throne speech is this? All he did was read off liberal talking points. How much did this charade cost us? So this is the King Charles. So in tradition, I guess I should say in tradition, in cases where there is a whole new parliament system where they have to anoint a new prime minister, they would have a representative from the monarchy or the monarch themselves. Queen Elizabeth did one in I think it was 57, where she read off a speech and acquainted the prime minister to become the ruler of Canada. So now King Charles, because Mark Carney, King Charles comes in with Camilla to anoint him as being prime minister to start the parliament procedure. And King Charles, in his speech, made it sound more like an infomercial than an actual speech about, the importance of parliament or democracy or any of that. It made it sound like it was an infomercial directly to Mark Carney. Like, it sounds like a celebrity endorsement that you would see in like a Papa John's commercial. And here's how it broke down.
Many Canadians are feeling anxious and worried about the drastically changing world around them. Fundamental change is always unsettling. Yet this moment is also an incredible opportunity, an opportunity for renewal, an opportunity to think big and to act bigger, an opportunity for Canada to embark on the largest transformation of its economy since the Second World War. The government is guided by its conviction that the economy is only truly strong when it serves everyone. Many Canadians are struggling to get ahead. The government is responsible.
Again, I just find it hilarious. This is the king, the royal monarch himself, talking about how Canadians are struggling. Again, you have no position. You have no position to talk about the empathy you have for struggling Canadians. Oh, I feel so bad for you. I feel so bad for you. Really? Really? Since he won't even do anything for his own British people. He comes to Canada, and I feel sorry for you, you plebes of Canada. I don't know what you guys are doing. You're, I guess you have to get your food from a dumpster. I don't know how poor people respond. The poorest place I went to was Saks Fifth Avenue. They only had Chanel suits. Ah, the horror.
Reducing middle-class taxes and saving two-income families up to $840 a year. It will cut the GST on homes at or under $1 million for first-time home buyers, delivering savings of up to $50,000. And it will lower the GST on homes between $1 million and $1.5 million.
Is he reading a copy from Geico? Like, what is this? You should be thankful for this prime minister because you're going to save $840 annually if you switch to our insurance. Oh, man. I'm telling you, this is like ad copy. And I took marketing in college. I took marketing courses in college. This literally sounds like an advertisement. This literally sounds like Shaquille O'Neal could do this. Get a better celebrity to endorse this. This is from the king. This is from the King of England. And the crotchety Queen Camilla never looks happy. I just gotta say, he never looks happy. Even though you are like the top tier of the world. You are in the top position of any woman in the world. And you still don't look happy. So that's just hilarious. But there's more to this because Mark Nixon put this little montage together of how King Charles not only sounded like an infomercial to Mark Carney, but took the exact words from Mark Carney during his campaign. So literally they just copied and pasted Mark Carney's campaign that got him elected and transfer that to King Charles's speech to propagandize people, to promote his policy, his agenda. The established world order is still continuing, it's still flourishing. Don't worry. If you surrender to us, you may get $840 in return. You may get cheaper in first-time home buyers. You may get that if you surrender to us. So watch this.
First-time home buyers, delivering savings of up to $50,000.
This can provide up to $50,000 in savings for families entering the housing market.
And it will lower the GST on homes between $1 million and $1.5 million.
The government will protect the programs that are already saving families thousands of dollars every year.
Childcare, continuing to support $10 a day childcare.
These include childcare. The government has recently expanded the Canadian Dental Care Plan.
Which I just want to state, I just want to pause there because I know people have tried to slam me because I wouldn't support Mark Carney. That means I'm automatically against, dental care and pharmacare. And, oh, how dare you want, expensive childcare? What about struggling families? Blah, 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 blah. They're trying to, go against me and pound my head on that. I have nothing against these policies. In fact, I adore the idea that we have cheaper, daycare for struggling families. I would want that. I would want more affordable childcare. I would want ability to get, affordable dental care and pharmacare. I think those are very important. What I'm against, though, is the tactics in which the Liberal Party has used to manipulate people to think that they're getting this, but it's also wrapped around other bureaucracy that makes this impossible. Because even if we do have $10 day childcare, yeah, that sounds great. That's wonderful. I would love to have that. $10 day childcare is only going towards certain institutions, which means that certain institutions only allowed to have the $10 day childcare, which means that other childcare facilities are going to crash down, and people going towards childcare centers that only offer the $10 day childcare are going to be extremely backlogged. So, yeah, it sounds like it's a great idea, but they don't have the calculations to actually execute it. And it's wrapped around other bureaucracy and other crap that they're trying to push in front of this. So this is political trickery, if you will. That they're trying to promote that, we're going to make things affordable. We're going to make childcare. We're going to make pharmacare, dental care, all this great stuff. But they wrap it around so much bureaucracy and other crap that doesn't even involve those policies that if it comes to the table, it's going to be turned down. They're going to veto it. Or if it does pass, it's not going to be actually feasible in the outcome. So it's a mess up. It's a total mess up. But let's see the rest of this.
We're supporting that, and we'll continue to do so. In fact, we've enlarged it by another 5 million people.
The government's overarching goal, its core mission, is to build the strongest economy in the G7.
And to build the strongest economy in the G7.
That starts with creating one Canadian economy out of 13.
To have one Canadian economy instead of 13.
Internal barriers to trade and labour mobility cost Canada as much as $200 billion each year. The government will introduce legislation to remove all remaining federal barriers to internal trade and labour mobility by Canada Day.
Federal government to do its part by Canada Day. So free trade in Canada by Canada Day.
Numerous premiers have already taken vital steps to break down provincial and territorial barriers to trade.
Within the first week as Prime Minister, I sat down with all the premiers of the provinces and territories, as well as the leaders of the Indigenous peoples. Got an agreement with all the provinces and territories, doesn't happen very often, got an agreement for them to have one Canadian economy.
Together, we will build on that progress to deliver free trade across the nation. This is critical to unlocking Canada's full economic potential, but it's not enough.
To build Canada strong.
To build Canada strong.
So, you get this. You get that this is a complete capture. That it's just a ripoff of Mark Carney's campaign. So, all this is basically an infomercial. All this is a giant commercial charade circus. Again, trick people to think that, oh, change is coming. It's coming. Just like people in America. They voted for Donald Trump because they didn't want Kamala Harris. They didn't want the continuation of the Biden catastrophe. They thought Trump was going to change. They thought, hey, if we incorporate RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard and Kash Patel and all these individuals, all these outsiders, that things are really going to change. Things are going to be good for the better. And what's happening in America? More of the same. More of the same. They're capturing money, sending it right to the Pentagon for more war. They're cutting Social Security. They're cutting Medicare. They're doing all the things a regular Republican, a corrupt Republican like George W. Bush would have done in his heyday. So, the more things change, the more things stay the same. And it's because of crap like this. It's because they make it believe that things are going to change. That, oh, this is a new person. That, oh, if it's a man of color, or if it's a gay man, or this or that, or the identity has changed, that means it's going to be all good and things are going to drastically change. But they don't realize that the institutions themselves, Parliament, the Bank of Canada, the Prime Ministership, the monarch of the British Empire, the United States House of Commons, the United States White House, and the Capitol, all these places are massively corrupted. Massively corrupted. So this is all for show. This is all for show. It's not going to change anything. And what you saw here was just an impromptu infomercial involving the King of England doing a cameo appearance, reading off a script that sounds like a Geico ad. And all it's trying to do is cover for Mark Carney and saying that, hey, thanks for voting for this guy. And if you stick around and continue to support him, this is what we might promise you. This is what we might promise you. But is it actually going to be executed? We'll wait and see.